Okay, everybody, I wanted to just give you a quick update on numerical methods. This is Dr. Reynolds. What I want to do is first talk about our last class, which will be on Thursday, April 23rd. Okay, so please plan on being there on WebEx, of course, on your computer. At 1 p.m., we're going to connect on WebEx. By the way, I've posted a link to my WebEx on the Canvas page, and I will send out a link as well via email, okay? So I'm sending out this video now because I think it's more effective with videos, but I will send out some email information as well. So let's talk about the last class. At 1 o'clock, we'll connect for a final exam review, okay? And I'll talk about the final. I'll talk about how it's going to work and everything like that. And then at 1:30, the extra credit quiz will open up, okay? So this is completely extra credit. You do not have to do this, but I would recommend that you do, because what it's going to be is it's going to be a quiz that will be open for, you have 20 minutes to do it. It'll open at 1:30, and it'll be just one problem, multiple choice. By the way, it'll be on the Euler method with the first order differential equation. So you'll have one problem. And if you get it right, you get 10 points extra credit added to your homework score, which is really nice. Okay. And so, please note that at the bottom there, it says the quiz requires lockdown browser. Okay. So if you've never downloaded the lockdown browser, you should do that. I will send out a link via email to do that. I'm kind of assuming a lot of you have already used the lockdown browser in other courses, so hopefully it's not a big deal. Anyways, we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. And basically, the reason I'm doing this is, one, to give everybody a chance to earn some points, but two, the quiz will give everyone kind of a preview of how the final exam looks like, okay? Because really the final exam will have a lot of the look and feel of this quiz, okay? So once you've taken this quiz, you'll go, oh, okay, that's kind of how the final will be. It's just instead of one problem, we'll do more problems, okay? But let's first connect at 1 o'clock for WebEx. We can do a little final exam review, answer some questions. And then at 1:30, we'll open up the quiz, and we'll have one problem, multiple choice, and you get a chance to earn a little extra credit. Again, it's totally extra credit there, okay? Now, I have a big announcement on the final exam, so please listen carefully. For the final exam will be optional, okay? It is an option. You do not have to take the final exam. But if you choose to, the final exam is Thursday, April 30th at 11 a.m. and runs to 1:30 p.m., okay? There will be 10 questions. It will be multiple choice, and it will look a lot like the extra credit quiz, okay? So the extra credit quiz has one question. It's in the lockdown browser. Same thing here for the final. So if you can get through the quiz and you can run it okay, well, that's exactly how the final is going to look like, okay? So that gives you a good preview. It's open notes, open book, all that good stuff. But, you have a choice to make whether you want to take the final or not, okay? So let's talk a little bit about how to calculate your grade, because obviously that would motivate your choice. All right, so how to calculate your grade. All right, if you take a look at the syllabus, exam 1 is worth 20%, exam 2 is worth 20%, the final exam is worth 20%, and homework is effectively 40%. Now the syllabus has like 10% and 30% for MATLAB projects, but we basically did the MATLAB inside the homework. So the homework is 40%. All right, so that's how your grade is calculated. Now, your homework score, if you look at it, it's 40%. So homework score is absolutely critical, okay? You can still turn in late homework. It's only a 10% penalty up until Friday, April 24th at 11:59 p.m. I can't take it any later. The reason is all this homework has to be manually graded, okay? And so we have to manually grade homework. So if you've got homework you haven't turned in, by all means, get it in, because you're just going to get a lot of points from it, okay? And there are several students in this class who have not done well at homework, and right now it looks like they're going to fail, okay, unless they can start to turn in homework, okay? So please, I beg you, please get this homework turned in, and we will work with you, and you won't lose a lot of points from it, okay? So get this homework turned in as soon as possible this week and focus in on it. Also, don't forget, homework 4 is due also April 24th at 11:59, okay? And we just can't take any late homework because we've got to have time to grade it. Now, I understand some of you are going to say, look, all my homework's been on time, but obviously the result of homework 4 is important to my grades. So we need to quickly grade it, okay? So we're going to work on quickly grading homework 4 and getting it back to you very, very quickly. I'll also say if you turn in homework 4 early, there's a chance we may even be able to grade it before the due date, okay? So if you turn it in a couple days early, we may be able to grade it much faster, okay? So we're going to try our best to get everybody's grades back because you know that the final exam is optional. You probably want to think about your grades, right, in order to decide whether you're going to take it or not. All right, now, so let's talk about how to calculate your final grade based upon whether you take the exam or not, final exam or not. So let's take a look at just an example student. I just pulled numbers out of the air. And let's say this example student had a 77% on exam 1, a 90% on exam 2. And let's say they calculated all 4 homeworks and they added up all their points on all 4 homeworks to 174 points. And then, and maybe, maybe this includes the extra 10 points from the quiz. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they added up all their points and they got 174. Divided by 200 possible homework points means an 87%. And let's say they decided to take the final exam and they got 8 out of 10 correct at 80%. Then the calculation is pretty easy. 20%, 20%, 20%, 20% for each of the exams, 40% for the homework, and that gets an 84.2, clearly pretty much a B. Yeah. So, and like I said, you'll need your homework score, 4 score, in order to calculate that. So we're going to try to get that back to you as soon as possible. So then what do you think about then about not taking the final? How's my grade calculated? Well, here's how it's calculated. Let's say same student did not take the final. They took the exam 1, they did exam 2, and they had the same homework score. Well, then you look at it and you go, okay, 20% for exam 1, 20% for exam 2, 40% for the homework score. But we realize that gives you 68.2%, but that's not really your percentage. I have to divide it out by 0.8 because it's missing 20%. So this becomes an 85.25. So still a B. So of course this is just all made up numbers. But in this case, the student didn't help themselves by taking the final. Of course, again, this is all just made up numbers. Some of you might really need to take the final. I don't know. But a lot of you probably won't. Because the thing is, if you take the final, it must count on your grade. So think carefully. So you can't take the final, do poorly, and go, oh, I shouldn't have taken the final. No. Once you take the final, it counts. Okay? But you don't have to take the final. If you like your grade, you don't have to take the final. And again, once I get homework 4 back to you, you should be able to calculate your grade. Now, what about actually calculating the letter grade, right? Well, remember that if you get higher than 90, it's a guaranteed A. If you get your grade in the 80s, it's going to be at least a B, and a grade in the 70s is going to be at least a C. Okay, now, there's likely going to be a little wiggle room here. What do I mean by that? Well, maybe an 88.5 is an A? Probably. Is a 78.9 a B? Probably, So there's a little bit of wiggle room if you're a little bit below some of those things, okay? I don't like to give a lot of minus grades. I don't give a lot of A minus, B minus, things like that. I don't like those. Occasionally, I do give some plus grades. So there might be somebody that gets like an 86 that I give a B plus to or something. I don't know. I might do a little bit of that. But if you need to know based on your percentage what your grade's going to be, I can do that. But I need you to calculate your percentage, okay? There should be no difficulty for you to calculate your percentage because all the points are on Canvas, okay? The only thing obviously missing right now is homework 4. Now, of course, if you turn in late homework, we're going to work as hard as we can to get that back to you as well. But that could also affect your grade as well. So, um, you know, we'll do the best we can and we'll work it out. Also, if you're deciding to do the pass-fail option, you might also just say, hey, do I have enough to pass? Okay. If I have enough to pass, I don't need to take the final, then no big deal, right? So anyway, I'm hoping this is helpful to you. Remember, the final is completely optional. Um, do I think people will do well on the final? Well, I will tell you this. In the past, when I've done multiple choice exams and quizzes, people don't do as well, okay? So, but I will tell you that I'm going to try to make the final fairly easy. I'm not going to make a lot of hard questions on it, but generally in multiple choice type exams, people don't do as well, okay? Because there's no room for partial credit. So I don't know. It's all up to you how you want to do it, if you want to take it or not. But I really want to do is just give you all the information. You know how to calculate your grade, whether you take the final exam or not. And you know that we're going to be meeting this Thursday at 1 o'clock. Okay, don't forget that. This Thursday, April 23rd at 1 o'clock for WebEx. We're going to meet online. And then don't forget about the extra credit quiz that's at 1:30. You'll have 20 minutes to do the quiz, and if you get it right, 10 points extra credit. If you get it wrong, no big deal. But it does require the lockdown browser. All right, that's it, and we'll see you soon.